just thinking out loud. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar strawberries on a summer evening.
Yeah, good morning. It's 6:33. It is May 28th. It is Tuesday. Let's get logged in. All right, guys, take a look at the disclosure. Let's get to it. Got a lot going on this morning. All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. It is 6:33. It is May 28th. It is 2024. Hopefully everyone's feeling well and had a really good Memorial Day weekend. Little fun, little sun, little family, little fitness, some beverage, some barbecue, and all the things you're supposed to be doing. Before getting back in the saddle for another week, right? Getting at it. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Let's see who's awake. We got Jose in the house from Caracas. We got the space specialist. We got It's Rising and Grinding, Frank Tucci. We got Blair from, thanks. We got Glenn. We got Ali. We got Steve. All right, just so everyone knows, this might be the only 6:30 club this week, maybe tomorrow. Tune in today around 2:30. We'll discuss why. But at this point, let's get to business, which is what we do. We get prepared. We have a process. We have a routine. So this way we can approach the market every week with a bit of a plans, right? So at this point, if you take a look here, at the S&P cash, what do we see? We see that last week, if you do remember, on Thursday, there was this huge wide range candle. That was when Nvidia came out with numbers. Everybody was all excited, and sometimes they want to shake it up, so they sell the excitement. So the S&P opened up above 53.25, didn't hold it, traded below this area, and held 52.64, which was the prior high. So at first kiss, it held. Okay, and then on Friday, kind of retraced a little bit, penetrated, fought back a bit. So usually you measure the type of retracement. We call those retracement rules of the prior candle to see how much control it has. And as of Friday, not the most control. Okay, and then you look at today, we are off the morning highs, but we're up 75 cents. So we're at 530.19. So we're still right around here. So if the active bears have control, they'd probably want to take the SPYs red today, and anything that's up, they'd probably want to take it down. So with that being said, yes, it's Apple's up, Nvidia's up, there are a bunch of things up. So so it's good to be in the right things. So if you look here, this is my alpha team. This is my crew. These are my dogs. You guys are my dogs in the 6:30 club, but these are the guys that are with me every day. Everybody's waking up, posting news, this and that. I don't have a lot on. Okay, I don't have a lot on because last Thursday I had to clean up shop a little bit. I sold some strength. I also got stopped out and salvaged some trades. I lost a little bit, but you know what? I put myself more in control. So for today, so far I'm coming in with an easy day. Or I just actually trimmed a little Nvidia, up 27 points. We're going to get into that. I have some Nvidia 1100s on that I'm going to try and hold for the week. I'll probably trim a little bit of that. We still have Lilly. I bought 2 sets of Apple calls. Those are nice. For pre WWDC and post. So with the news from from what's it called, from China with their iPhone sales, it's up 4. We'll see if that holds. And then I'm also in some AMC. I was there when GME came out with the news Friday when I was doing my weekly charts. So we'll see if I just sell that or hold a little bit. And then I also have some meta calls on and a little bit of crypto. So I narrowed it down from a lot of positions. That's what I do, when you get a day like this, a day that says, wow, this might be a little bit troubling. We saw that here too, if you remember. This was April 4th before it pushed back, so kind of similar a little bit. And then you had an inside day or two before we stayed in the lower end of this, and rolled over in the lower end of this candle. And then we saw our corrective phase where we did put the blood on the street account to work on 419. And then I did sell the blood on the street account on May 15th. Wow, that was great. My wife was happy. She said, oh my God, you made me 5% on my retirement account. I'm like, yep. Now it's back to a fixed rider and wait for another rainy day. And if we don't get that rainy day, That's why we have longer term accounts. We put monthly flows in. But if you trade for a living, this day says clean up whatever you're not committed to. So some people are like, all right, Red Dog, you talk about your ebook and your Gap book, and we always download that. That's part of your lead generation. But I do that not just for that. I do that to try and make you guys some money. So if you look here in the video, we did two different things here, by the way. Okay. Perhaps you made good money. Remember that little show I did with the guy from Benzinga? We talked about the call spread, 1,000 by 1,050. If you held it to Friday's close, which is not easy to do. I managed some of it the day before. Okay. Basically, you made 4 times your money. You were risking $10 to make 40. Yay. If you didn't want to do that, you could have bought verse 1015, which is what the Gap book says. You buy verse a pro earnings pivot, which because it's defined. And even if you didn't do it on that day, you could have done it on Friday when it made a higher low and closed really well. So that is why I'm in some NVIDIA and some NVIDIA calls. It was just higher. It seems as if the market's pulling in a little bit. We're up 25. This was 1,100 a while ago, but still you could sell it here if you have some, and sell some, hold some. That's what I do. That's called a tier system. Anyway, so we'll see what goes on. I'll probably, obviously you can't sell options yet. I'll sell some, maybe even roll it up to a little bit higher for the week. But this was a nice pro earnings gap. It gave you a decent candle, and then this was your higher low, which was 1030. So even if you didn't take the call spread, even if you didn't trade it after hours, when it went through 974, which was another plan, you had a way to make money, on Friday if you were willing to take the risk. So, those are like 3 different strategies right there. People are like, oh, I just want to, I want to just tune in at 9:25 and do something because the stock market's a casino. That's not the case. The stock market is not a casino. You have to think about the way you want to approach it so you know why and have the confidence to do it and not just throw sugar honey iced tea against the wall, because that's not what's going to make you a career. Anyway, so I trimmed some. So that was one thing that worked. Yay. Another thing I did was with Apple, because Apple, although you had a pretty gross candle on Thursday, which got me out of the stock, okay, it's still, from the pro earnings gap, which some people are in. This is another pro earnings gap, a little different. Because it actually broke below. So if it broke below and you stopped yourself out, it then gave you this, which is 180.43 to trade again. So I'm just trying to teach a little bit. So I did get back in also the stock here, sold some strength, got stopped out of the stock. And then I'm like, you know what? We're still pretty damn close to the all-time highs. Maybe Apple wants to run before the AI event or after, if everyone likes what they say. So I have both sets of calls on. And Apple right now is doing decent this morning. Apple was up 4. It's up 433. It's up above 192.73. So I'm sure the alpha team's happy. I like when my alpha team's happy. I like when everyone's happy. You know what? It's nice to be nice, right? Everyone thinks nice guys finish last. That's not true. Maybe get a hot girl or two if you play hard to get when you're in high school, but chances are they like to marry the nice guys that are going to take care of you, not the ones that are going to be extra cool. It's cool to be cool, but it's nice to be nice. Anyway, 192.82 is that spot, and then this is 196. You look at the weekly chart of Apple, and kind of still held on the weekly chart where it had to. Apple has not done a thing since June, right? And one of the big concerns was the slowdown in China. And now they're showing an increase in China units. That means their infrastructure, which is where they sell everything. I know I get, Apple TV. I get this charge, that charge. I'm probably paying $50 a month in stuff for Apple on my iPhone. My iPhone is my lifeline to the world. So anyway, at some point, this 198, 199-ish area gets taken out, and we probably see up here. I wasn't sure when. But that's what I've been talking about all year. I'm like, if you're an investor in Apple, stay the course. If you're trading it actively, you have to pick and choose your battles. And that battle for the active bulls started to get won, right around here when it held a big portion of this pro earnings gap. So those are the 2 reasons why I'm in that. So people then they're like, why are you in Facebook? Well, I kind of thought Meta, investing in AI, which is what everyone likes right now, okay, hasn't done a whole lot either since here, right? This is 485. It's been going sideways. They had a really good earnings report. So I thought, hey, look at this nice candle that just broke above the moving averages. Maybe it takes out 482.50, and play some catch up if the market's not topping here. If the market's topping here and they sell the SPYs and, we hold in the lower end and they sell, then maybe it doesn't happen. So I have the 485 calls on, and if maybe Meta that's down $2 goes from red to green, and it gets better. So I kind of like to, I was testing it in here, and then this candle, it was pretty good. Like in a casino, Robin says there are possible odds to play. Yes, I agree. I feel like that's why I love Texas Hold'em. If you Google Scott Redler, it'll say that I'm one of the biggest poker players on Wall Street, which isn't true. I just said that poker is the most similar to the stock market, where if you're playing poker, you can go out if you don't like your hand. You know what a good hand looks like. You could read the room. There are a lot of ways to strategically make money playing poker. Same thing with the stock market. When you have a good setup, a bad setup, when you shouldn't be that active, when you should have low gross, low net, which means, not that much going on because it's a tough tape, or you need to know when, you have ace, king, same suit. Hey, it's a good hand, or maybe a pair of kings or queens or aces. But anyway, so yes, there are ways to make calculated, defined bets or trades, because I don't call them bets, and then obviously long term, it could help pay for your retirement in college if you put monthly flows in, because historically the bull market wins. So those are the three things that look pretty good. And then guys like Red Dog GME is going back to 60. I don't know if it's going back to 60. All I know is it did do a little Red Dog reversal, okay, right here on on Friday. So if you happen to have, been really looking here, or just say you bought it when all the big guys are buying it at $12, those options, and you sold into that excitement and didn't buy there, you're like, well, let me give it a try down here. Anyway, there's a gap to be filled up to 27.59. So see how that goes. Right now, GME is, what's GME doing? GME is, it's up 460. They raised almost $1 billion through people wanting to save them again. I don't know why, but anyway, 23.67. It's above 23.40. We'll see if this gap gets filled. I don't think it's going to have a crazy move like that, but anything's possible. I do have some AMC. AMC was actually trading better a little bit than GameStop prior to that move. And well, again, I'm not expecting a whole hell of a lot, but you do have some kind of inside pocket pivot that if it does get above, it's raised a lot of money also. And if, I don't know, maybe there's a little bit more action here. This is like the 520s. Gets above 520. You could look at my buddy Jake or Trend Spider, or those guys, as like some kind of volume shelf that's open till like 6 or so. Last time I was long here, I sold it up to 11. Maybe this time we could sell it up to 6 or 7. Maybe. We shall see. What's the SPYs doing? Somebody just asked me. Let's see. Apple's still up 4. Nvidia's up 24. That's up. It's very specific. The SPYs are up 80 cents. Anyway, so that could be in play. As far as what's it called? Bitcoin, I am still in some BITO. I am in some IBIT, which is the ETF that correlates. Remember last time when the Bitcoin ETF got approved, they sold Bitcoin for a little bit and then it went nuts. They might be doing that with Ethereum. So I think that's something that maybe you want to still accumulate. If you look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is still hanging around. It's taking its time. Definitely taking its time. Here it looked like it was going to maybe do a Bitcoin weekend, which it didn't do. You could kind of, make this go a little bit of sideways here. Big, huge channel. Now it's really got to get above 70, to get back towards this, let's see, 71.9. Which is where it hit the other day, which we did have a nice trade here. I sold some into that 71.9, and now I did, I'm positioning a bit. If you want to say, hey, look at this kind of wedge here, Bitcoin is wedging somewhat. It's taking its time, but I would think that with all the accumulation from the big dogs, all the institutions that finally were able to do it, chances are it's not over. But again, it's a nice big channel. It'd be good if it goes. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, a lot of people talking about INSM. That's up also. So there you go. Lilly, you guys want to see Lilly? Lilly to me still looks okay. I did buy a bunch. We talked about this in the 630 Club too. And here, remember, we were buying, the 8-10 calls for June for like 5 to 10, and we were able to sell them up to about 25, 26. So I would think holding this would make some sense to continue. What's Lilly doing this morning? Lilly is it's up 4, so it's still hanging around. So there's, a lot of little things to do. It'd be nice if we hold up a little bit more so they don't take Nvidia lower. I already trimmed a little bit, but it'd be nice if it holds up. And we'll see what happens here with the SPYs. As Europe is lower, Asia a little bit lower. People don't love the fact of what's happening, geopolitically, which I'm not going to get into right now. There is a lot more talk now, a little bit of stagflation versus Goldilocks. So stagflation likes to win the argument when inflation is sticky and growth is slowing. For a while, the market's been programmed to go up when things are slowing, because then finally the Fed could, lower rates once or twice. But then if it starts slowing too much, then people get upset, because what that might do is, slow too much, and then valuations. So anyway, at this point, if you're looking at the SPYs, you had a decent inside day Friday. Gave you some things to do. If you have some good positions overnight, make sure to trim and trail. You don't get caught. And we'll see what happens here. This is 530.27. That was Friday's high. Now you have the SPYs right here, a little bit below it. So it's still in this candle. If we stay within this candle, some would think this is still somewhat in control. And then if it starts to roll over, then just, take a little careful. Take a little bit more care as this week progresses. Don't get sucked back in. Really just go with the things that are working, and try and make sure you keep your money. With that being said, at 6:49, May 28th, Tuesday, there's a chance there might not be a 6:30 Club tomorrow. Tune in today at 2:30. And do I still like Amazon? I haven't really liked Amazon, to be honest, since it failed at 190 like 3 times, and I lost a bunch of money. I bought a little bit of Amazon just in case the market holds up and they want to go for false leaders. At this point, if you look at Amazon, it's still in this descending channel here. I made pretty good money with Amazon from this move, and then I would have thought it would have held better. It just didn't, and I wound up losing a bunch of money. And now we'll see, does this little descending channel continue to descend, or does it wake up? I am not in Amazon. I'm in a few calls for this week just in case it wakes up, because I'm not going to be at my desk later this week, and we'll see. So Amazon was definitely a little bit frustrating the way it finally got back to highs a few times and had no traction. Mackenzie and Jeff, stop selling your damn stock. You give enough to charity, and I give a lot to charity also. But your shareholders that have been very patient for all-time high trades, are waiting in the wings for you guys to stop using this stock as a cash register. But anyway, as long as you give it to charity, that's fine. Not, anyway. With that being said, the Qs acted a little bit better, than the SPYs. So watch that. If all of a sudden the Qs start rolling down, chances are there's not going to be that much leadership. This already, penetrated half of that candle. So there was definitely some thoughts of, hey, maybe this is not going to control the tape the next month. But the more you hang up here and reduce the power of this candle, then you have to just be a little bit more flexible. So we'll see. So all in all, again, make sure not to get sucked back in. We'll see if today's early strength, which started to fade, fades. We'll see with what is up, if it holds up, and go day by day, week by week. Listen, market's had a huge move since October 2022, and it's had a big move this year. And the Fed will not cut rates in September if all of a sudden we're sitting at 5,400 or 5,500. Hey, if we go into a corrective phase and sentiment gets a little chopped up and we go a little bit lower and then get lower stuff, then maybe, they'll do it in September and that could start another move. But for now, I think you got to be in wait and see mode. Just be a bit more careful and know your time frame. Okay, all the things we talk about since 1997. I've been doing this since 1997. It's 2024. Let's hope that I'm doing this in June in 2024. We shall see. Later, guys. I appreciate you.